Yo, it's your boy Big Val Opinion, man. Now, I tried to pre record this and upload it. Really didn't want to do a live, but I'm not expecting anybody to be on here. This going to be real brief. This going to be real short. Um, y'all see the title, determination of look at Creepy T up. This going to be real short, and it's just going to be like a quick, just like overview of the two types of informants. And y'all can take these descriptions and use them where you all see fit. Um, what's up, Ashley? You have a CI and you have a RI. Hmm. I'm quite sure some people may know what a CI means. Some people might know what a RI means. What's up, Tamara Johnson? A CI is a confidential informant, and I'm going to explain my best to break down what it is confidential informant is. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all leave comments under this video, and make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. And if you feel the content is worthy to be shared, make sure you share it out as well. But a CI is a confidential informant. Any individual who provides useful, credible information to a justice, law enforcement agency regarding felony criminal activity inform and from whom the JLEA, which is the Justice Law Enforcement Agency, expects or intends. Um, that's pretty much what a confidential informant is. Anyone who's provide useful, credible information to a justice law enforcement agency. Anyone regarding felony criminal activities. Anyone who gives information to a justice law enforcement agency regarding felony criminal activities. That's what you call a confidential informant. Is any individual who provides useful, credible information to a justice, law enforcement agency regarding felony criminal activities. Okay? That's what you call a confidential informant. Um, you also have a reliable informant. A reliable informant is any informant who has provided information based on his or her personal knowledge and who meets the legal standard for reliability. This usually consists of, but is not limited to, validating at least one prior occasion where information from this informant provided to the fact proved to be factual and resulted in a valid arrest, seizure, or conviction. A reliable informant. See, there's a difference. A confidential informant is one who provides useful, credible information to a justice law enforcement agency regarding felony criminal activities. That's what you call a confidential informant. But a reliable informant is an informant who has at least one prior occasion where the information from this informant proved to be factual and resulted in a valid arrest, seizure, or conviction. That means in order for you to be a reliable informant, you have to been told on somebody before and it was successful with the conviction or the seizure, the arrest of that person. Um, So, with everything we've been hearing lately in these YouTube streets, so, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to say what it is or what it ain't. I want you all to be able to listen to the definition of these words that are being used throughout these motions and determine which one of these situations best fit what we've been hearing and what not. So I'm gonna go over the definitions again, and then I'm gonna touch on my earlier video, because one of the supporters said that the video should have been longer. I was on my way to work, really didn't have a lot of time. So CI, which is a confidential informant, is any individual who provides useful, credible information to a justice law enforcement agency regarding a federal felony criminal activity. A reliable informant is any informant who has provided information based on his or her personal knowledge and who meets the legal standard for reliability. This usually consists of, but is not limited to, validating at least one prior, that means one past case. In order for you to be a reliable informant, you have to have had a past case where you provided information that was successful. They say you have to have at least one prior occasion where information from this informant proved to be factual and resulted in a valid arrest, seizure, or conviction. um, Earlier today in a video that I dropped on my page, I talked about the federal government accepting. I talked about the federal government accepting um, information from bloggers who had who have. I spoke on the federal government, Homeland Security, accepted information from bloggers who illegally obtained this information through prison guards who worked at the facility where one was being held. And we say we live in a system of laws and a system of right and wrong. You know, if the people who's supposed to govern the laws are breaking the laws, how is it that they're so hell bent on charging the citizens when they're not even abiding by the laws that were put in place to protect the citizens? So if the government, the people who's supposed to uphold the law, is breaking the law to convict someone, how is it even possible for you to even convict someone if you breaking the law to do it? I mean, the more and more we start to see this case open and expand, we start to see more and more. Um, we starting to see more and more of the, you know, more and more stuff just get looked over. Like, how did y'all miss that? How was that looked over? Why was this not mentioned? Why was that not mentioned? When you got bloggers coming out on their platform bragging about buying this man personal information, like, that's an issue. That should be an issue with everybody, whether you for Robert Kelly or against Robert Kelly. You should have an issue with people accessing this man's personal records over 100 plus times. What if there was your family member? What if there was your husband? What if there was your wife? What if there was your son? That a guard access your son records or your husband records or your child records or whatever, your wife records over 100 plus time going through email correspondence. And people ask for the lowest, a lot of people was asking why did the flip happen, or why did Ash flip, or when did the flip happen. Well, according to the uh right, Ashley, More of the framework. The picture is coming together. Exactly. Now we get a valid answer. There's no more need to question why the ass flipped. We know now the reason for ass flipping is that the people that obtained those illegal jail records, they used those jail records to show her correspondence between Robert and his then girlfriend, now fiance, and that upset her to the point to where she wanted to fight, she wanted to cause bodily harm, she wanted to have Joy locked up. She wanted Robert and his girlfriend to be locked up, therefore they would not be able to be with each other. But the thing about this is when you don't do it right, it just won't work. It's just not gonna stick. It's just not gonna stick. See, you don't do things out of anger because when you're angry, you're not able to think in a proper manner. So you may do things, you may try to cause damage right then and there, but the damaging that you're causing right then and there is not going to be a long lasting damage. That's just for the moment. If you really want to hit somebody where it hurt, you sit back and you think things out. You sit up and you think about how could I really do something to this person that's going to affect them in a way to where they're going to need help, they're going to need resources, things of that nature. You know, so and this all alleged. This is my this is my thoughts. These are all alleged thoughts of my own. I believe when they received those jail records, I said last night, I said I believe she was shown some of those records, but not all. It's like they enticed her. They showed her a little bit of what was going on. And hey, if you want to know more, you're gonna have to come out to Las Vegas to my house, this, that, and the third. When she got there, you heard the man say we had surviving R. Kelly playing on every TV in the house, so pretty much what do that sound like to y'all? What do that sound like? You done took a federal informant, bribed, enticed her with text messages from the defendant and his then girlfriend, now fiance. You use those emails to entice her to come to your house. She get to your house, you got Surviving R. Kelly playing on every TV in the house. You had your mama, you got your daughter, your wife, everybody speaking to this girl, talking to this girl at the same time, showing her these emails from Robert and his fiance, which now she's pissed off, and now she's looking at the TV showing Surviving R. Kelly. Now she's like, now y'all done turned this young lady into a gremlin. She went from being a young lady to a super gremlin. Now she want to go to the Trump. She want to go. She want to fight. She want to get her once best friend locked up. She want to have Kelly locked up. You may not make it to trial. You may not ever come home. Like a lot of this, a lot of this comes from people over inserting themselves into this case. If some of these people would have sat back and allowed things to just play out and work themselves out, a lot of the people that we see that are in trouble, they would not be in trouble. But when you over insert yourself in something where you don't even know what's going on because there's so many moving pieces, it's so many moving pieces. Right, Ashley. She was fired up when she went back to that Trump. She wanted to fight. She knew she was gonna fight. When Joy came in there, like I was telling people last night, they want to say this man like dudes or guys or whatever the situation may be, slandering the brother Robert Sylvester Kelly name. But you heard what Joy said when she came in that house. Why you got these men up in Rob's house? You know he don't like men in his house. So you mean to tell me a guy that don't like men in his house is out here dealing with other men? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't resonate with me. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's facts. I'm not saying it's fiction. That's just my opinion. If his girl say, Robert don't like men in his house, why you got these men up in his house? So how, this man, I don't see that to be the type of guy that'll deal with brothers, but I digress. Like my boy, Black CEO Media, I yield back. I yield back. But yeah, so They go on, they get the emails, they illegally obtain the emails. They show her some of the emails, entice her to come to Vegas. She get to Vegas, they coerced her with surviving R. Kelly on every TV in the house. He got his wife talking to her, got his daughter talking to her, got the mama talking to her, the daddy talking to her, Pimp Low talking to her, Alice Dunn Warren talking to her. So all of them talking to her to coerce her to turn on Robert. So when she turned on Robert, she turned on Joy as well. So now she want to get Joy locked up. Oh, you was having sex, you was sleeping with a minor, this, that, and the third. But you are the same person who also carried around a fake ID. You presented an ID to the police officers in Florida that stated you are 18 years of age. And then this incident and all of this stuff that you are proclaiming to took place in Chicago, which Chicago, the statute of limitation is 17. So how was she sleeping with a minor if this was all going down in Chicago? But I digress. I yield back. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong because I have no dog in this fight. I'm just speaking my opinion. But what I see is I see a person like the government worker. He saw an opportunity to help himself, and he lashed himself onto this case, and he got in depth with this case. I mean, the guy was so pivotal to the government to where in the new motion they talk about it was explained how the government asked the judge, really they didn't even want this brother to go to jail for the crime he had committed. They said we need this brother out here advocating for women on YouTube. He's a good advocate for women on YouTube and this, that, and the third. You know, they wanted this brother home. They didn't even want him to be locked up. They say he had done such a great job. He was such a great help to them in their case. But people talk about and brag about how the federal government, their conviction rate, this, that, and the third, when they come for you, they not coming in case they got a case already. Well, we can look at Robert Sylvester Kelly case and see that that's a lie. If you look at the case of Robert Sylvester Kelly, you can see that was a lie. They came at this man with no case. They just had a bunch of shit they was throwing at the wall, hoping some stick. You see the lady in Chicago say, well, there wasn't no ongoing investigation of Mr. Robert Kelly up until the docu-series. That's an issue. Yeah, advocate, aka get people to lie. Exactly. It's the same. We got bus drivers, we got managers, we got employees, we got this, that, and the third that's ready to go up there and tell them R. Kelly did it. This is what it came out of this guy's mouth. We got all of these people ready and ready to go cooperate. We got the white girl, we got Cheryl Mack, we got this, that, and the third. All these people ready to go tell R. Kelly made them do it. So this is the result you get from people overexerting themselves into a situation where, if they would have just sat back and allowed things to take place and play themselves out, they could have been way greater help. But I ask people this: why is it that all of these people who so quote unquote care about these young black women of color, why was they all doing it with something to gain from it? Why did they only care when they were looking to gain something from it? Elsaw, what's up? What's up, Willie? All of these people who proclaim to have helped and advocate for these women of color, all of them had a vested interest in it, whether it was monetary, whether it was leniency within their own case, whether it was a book deal or something. How is it that Jim Derrick Goddard is writing books about the life stories of these young ladies who were claiming to be abused by Robert Sylvester Kelly? He's writing a book. He's publishing the book. They're not getting nothing from it. Make that make sense. Gayle King, the interview. Every time this airs, she received funding from Oprah for that interview. She's been catapulted. This whole case is tainted and it's finally coming to light. Exactly. I agree. I agree. El Sol, what I was talking about while I came on here, I was explaining to the people the two different types of informants. The two different type of informants. You have a confidential informant and you have a reliable informant. T. Glenn, what's up? A confidential informant is any individual who provides useful, credible information to a justice law enforcement agency regarding felony criminal activity. That's what a confidential informant is. Any individual who provides useful, credible information to a justice law enforcement agency regarding felony criminal activity. And you have a reliable informant. Any informant who has provided information based on his or her personal knowledge and who meets the legal standard for reliability. This usually consists of, but is not limited to, validating that at least informant one prior occasion where information from this informant provided to be factual and resulted in a valid arrest, seizure, or conviction. Elosa. I can't pronounce it, man. I don't. I'm gonna call you E. If I'm not calling it right, I'm gonna call you Soul. Soul. I'm gonna call you Soul. If I ain't pronouncing it right, that's what I'm gonna call you. Yeah. So, in order for you to be a reliable informant, that means you have told on someone before, and the information that you provided was resulted in a valid arrest, seizure, or conviction. You know, that's what a reliable informant is. So when you think about everything that has came out and everything that is starting to come out, and how this brother he told on his co-defendants, then he turned around and offered information to uh to the government based on another case, which was Robert Sylvester Kelly. So now, if you told on your co-defendants and got them locked up, now that means that's two prior situations where you told on somebody, and then you also offer information in a whole separate case, and then the information that you offered in the separate case, the government said that it was so compelling that they wanted you to be out and back on these YouTube streets because you were being a great advocate for women. But understand, how you being an advocate, you're not being an advocate from the heart. If you're going to advocate, you advocate from the heart. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing it from the heart. You're not doing it from the kindness of your heart. You're doing it because you are gaining something from it. If there was nothing for you to gain from this situation, would your participation be the same? Would you risk being labeled that? Would you risk being labeled an informant if you wasn't going to gain anything from it? See, the media is winning. Lifetime, A&E, when they air that surviving, whatever the reckoning, all that, they get paid from viewer censorships. You know, that interview R. Kelly did with Gayle King, she's getting paid every time that interview run. Every time people go and look at that interview, every time people go and critique that interview, guess what? The network is getting paid. Every time Big Jim Derrick come out with a book, guess what? He's getting paid. And I beg people and I ask people, I just don't understand, or I can't make sense of it. How did Jim receive a VHS in the mail popped it in the tape player, and instantly knew to call Sparkle. It just doesn't make sense. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this. He was mad at Robert Sylvester Kelly because Robert wouldn't give him a job. So apparently he wasn't close to Rob. He didn't know Rob in a circle. He wasn't around Rob like that. He was pissed because Robert would not give him a job. But all of a sudden, you get a VHS in the mail, pops it in the VCR, and boom, as soon as it come on, the first person come to your mind is to call Sparkles. How did you know that there was Sparkles, possibly her niece? How would you have known that? If you didn't have a relationship with Sparkle, you didn't have a relationship with her niece, you didn't have a relationship with Robert. So how do you receive a VHS in the mail and pop it in, and the first person come to your head is, let me call Sparkle? It's like me going to pop in a VHS and my tape player, and soon to come on, let me go call Joe Biden. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. How is this guy so aware? Oh, let me call Sparkle. Is this your niece? How do you even make that make sense? You don't know these people. This operation is getting exposed, but the media is turning a blind eye. Of course, they don't want to be made to look foolish. See, they had to have someone else introduce the tape this time. That's why they avoid putting him back on the stand. Or is he testifying? He's going to plead the fifth. He's going to plead the fifth. Jim is not going to take the stand. I say that was a rhetorical question. LOL. We already know what's up. Right, right. Then you have Sparkle come out and say that the lawyer contacted her. The lawyer said he never contacted her whatsoever. You know, but now here it is again that this we back at the center of the whole 2008 trial based off the tape. Why was this man acquitted from 2008? They determined that it wasn't him on the tape. So if it wasn't him on the tape, how is the tape even relevant in 2000 and 2022? Regardless if a person is testifying, regardless if a woman is testifying or whatever situation may be, if he was acquitted and they said they found that it wasn't him being depicted in the VHS, then how is he back in 2022 having to deal with the same thing? A lot of this shit involved in this case, man, you really have to sit down, have a seat. You really just have to think. You have to use your imagination and draw this picture in your head. If you're a writer, you have to write down notes. You have to write down little notes and you notate things. If you are a thinker, it is not hard to understand and see what is going on with this case. The only way you don't see the injustice is if you are part of the injustice. If you can't see the injustice, you are a part of it. It's simple as that. If you can't see the injustice, you are a part of it. That's it. Ashley said because Avenatti said he paid off the parents. I mean, and we all know everybody. There's 20 people in here right now. If R. Kelly would have obstructed justice in 2008, bad as they wanted him, and bad as they want to lock him up, they wouldn't have took them 14 years to come back. It wouldn't have took them 14 years to come back and arrest him. If he would have did all of this stuff that they are proclaiming he did in the first trial, it wouldn't have took them 14 years to come back and arrest him. Man, they want to dummy us down, and they don't want us to think, they don't want us to know, they don't want us to understand. But at the end of the day, If y'all don't do nothing else, man, think for y'all self. Think for y'all self. We got bloggers out here buying jail records. We got bloggers out here buying illegally obtained jail records, using those same illegally obtained jail records to share with other bloggers, which other bloggers use those same illegally obtained jail records to entice Jane Doe number five. Jane Doe number five then went to this one blogger's house. That blogger showed Jane Doe number five uh surviving R. Kelly on every TV in the house, had his mama, his daughter, everybody coercing this young lady, showing her what's going on, showing her what's not going on, and then turn around, they did then the bloggers are giving uh this same confidential information to Homeland Security in the federal government. And they accepted it. They accepted it. They used it. They used it. It's a crazy world that we living in. But I just pretty much wanted to come on and break down to y'all the definition of a confidential informant and a reliable informant. You know, hopefully you all got the understanding. A confidential informant, any individual who provide useful, credible information to a justice, law enforcement agency regarding felony, criminal activity. Say the narrative was R. Kelly is a supervillain who could not be caught because his enablers, aka his employees, folks are man, they lied on R. Kelly so much, man. The thing about it, the man, they said the man was too accessible. That's his whole downfall. He was too accessible for he was too accessible for the average people who had access to him. You look at some of these accusers, you would be like, man, ain't no way in the hell you ever dealt with Robert Kelly. Look at you. Look at your face. Look at your feet. Look at your hands. Look at your teeth. Look at some of these females who claim to have had relations with this brother. I'm like, damn, this brother ain't got no standards. He ain't got no taste, no nothing. I don't know, man. It's a crazy world that we live in, but we got to make the best out of it. You know. So if ain't nobody got no questions, man, I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. I really wanted to come on here, and y'all read the title. I really wanted to get on here and break down the understanding of a confidential informant and a reliable informant. That's right, Vi, exactly. He was too accessible for a celebrity, and they claim they could not get to him. Right. But see, the whole thing, let me tell y'all this. I gotta tell people, I broke down the situation with the settlements, right? If they ever would have, if they ever would have filed criminal charges on Robert Sylvester Kelly, you would not. If they would have filed criminal charges on Robert Sylvester Kelly, you would not have so many lawsuits. You would not have so many settlements. You would not have so many settlements because if he would have known of these lawsuits, if he would have known of these settlements being paid out, like he came out and said, he wanted to fight. He said it in his own interview. I wanted to fight I wanted to fight these allegations, but my manager informed me not to do that. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. So appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now they had a great scheme of how they went about this. One thing about it, if these accusers ever would have went to a hospital, the hospital, you know what you know if you going in the hospital portraying to be victimized or showing signs of abuse, the first thing the hospital gonna do is they gonna contact the hospital is gonna contact law enforcement. Law enforcement is going to come out. They're going to take down information. They're going to ask they're going to ask the alleged victim, do they know who done this? Where did this happen at? Where did it take place at? Therefore, once the law enforcement get all the information they need, law enforcement is going to then go to Olympia Fields, or if it's in Atlanta, they're going to go to the mansion in Atlanta, both of the houses in Atlanta. But once the law enforcement get the information they need, therefore the law enforcement is going to go to Robert Sylvester Kelly home address, and they're going to ask to speak to Robert Sylvester Kelly personally. We need to bring you down for questioning. Once they bring them down for questioning, what's going on, man? Why y'all got me down here? Well, Mr. Kelly, we have a young lady alleging to be abused and victimized by you. Says she was raped, says she was beaten, whatever the situation may be. Therefore, they may say, well, we're going to put cuffs on you. You had a right to remain silent. Robert, we could get a bail. You know, you bail out of jail, you get you a lawyer. You now got to fight these charges. Now, if they go to court, now if these women who are claiming that you abused them, you know, and took advantage of them, now they got to go to court. Now they got to prove in court that you did this. Once they prove in court that you did this, therefore, if the victims can prove that you did this in court, now they can follow with the lawsuit. But if they get in court and they can't prove that you abused them, that you took advantage of them, none of that, now there's no way that they can file a lawsuit against you. So what did Daryl McDavid and Susan Loggins do? They made sure none of these alleged victims went to the police. They made sure none of these alleged victims went to a hospital. Therefore, none of these women were ever victimized. None of these women were ever assaulted. None of it never happened to any of these women ever, ever. Never. These women were used for a quick flip. We're going to give you 5, maybe 10. You know, we're going to give you a little bit of money, but we want to use your name for this settlement. Pretty much pretty much you can say, well, maybe they were using these young women, they was using these women name for these settlements. People say, well, then the one accuser, she was giving some of the money back. Well, maybe she felt bad about her participation in the whole scheme, the grand scheme of things. Maybe she was trying to tell this brother, hey, they are extorting you. Could that be a reason why she was giving some of the money back? Because, see, a guilty conscience is something that some people can't deal with. Some people can't, some people can't overcome a guilty conscience. If a crime ever occurred, those bogus attorneys known for settlements, claims, cases filed, fail as officers of the court. Exactly. Those lawyers, those lawyers' first duty to these to their client is to make sure that their client is being taken care of. And that don't mean monetarily. That means if your client is coming in claiming to have been abused, your client you have to make sure that your client get the help. You have to make sure your client go to a hospital. You have to make sure your client go and put in a police report. Therefore, you cross every T, dot every I. Therefore, if the defendant choose to fight these claims, guess what? You got proof. You got proof to say, well, look, my client went to the hospital. They performed a rape kit. It's shown that she was touched, whatever this, that, and the third. Boom. Therefore, the defendant, how is he going to defend that when the lawyer got the hospital records, the lawyer got the charge records of the charges being filed. How can the defendant defend that? See, these people played so many dirty games. They had so many schemes going around, so many dirty games, so many schemes. If those, like you say, if those accusations were true, you're gonna send your client to the hospital. You're gonna send your client to file charges. You ain't gotta send your client to file charges. Because if you send your client to the hospital and they do a rape kit on your client and they come back that your client has been assaulted, the hospital will file the charges. Therefore, the client can't even the victim can't drop the charges if she wanted to. See, that's what people don't understand. You could go and file charges on somebody, and you had an option to drop those charges sometime. But if you go, depending on what the crime is, if you, the individual, go and file charges, and the state pick those charges up, or the federal government pick those charges up, or the hospital file charges for you on your behalf, you can't do nothing. You cannot drop those charges. The if the state pick them up, you can't stop. You can't drop them. If the feds pick them up, you can't drop them. You are no longer useful if you decide. You know what? Well, maybe this didn't happen. You don't have that option no more because now the state has picked up these charges. Now the state want to go to court. They want to go to court. And the reason why they didn't do it is because they know they couldn't prove. The reason why they didn't go to the hospital and the police station because they couldn't prove that a crime had occurred. They couldn't prove that a crime had occurred. So that's why they didn't go to the hospital or the police station. If you think back to the Chris Brown incident, the one they asked the lady, why didn't you go to the hospital, or why didn't you go to the police station? The lady said, "Oh, I'm in med school and I didn't want to be embarrassed." But you come out and say you go to a lawyer, you go to an attorney, filing a lawsuit for $20 million against Chris Brown, and you in med school. You are in med school. That means you are no dumb kid. I ain't gonna say kid. You're not a dumb lady. In the Chris Brown situation that happened on the boat. Just think back to the Chris Brown situation that happened on the boat. This woman said that Chris Brown assaulted her, did all the shit, all of the above. Then she go to an attorney. She don't even go to the police station. She don't go to the hospital. Now you would think with this young lady being in med school that she would have the decency to understand if you have been sexually assaulted, the first place you need to go to is the hospital. The hospital will get the officers over here. You don't even have to go to the police station. You go to the hospital. The hospital will bring the police to you. Then Chris Brown come out with the text messages and show that this girl was being thirsty. She was all over him. He wasn't trying to have her. He wasn't trying to deal with her. Now, Chris Brown, he just walks away like nothing ever happened. These type of people need to be sued. Yeah, Susan Loggins was subpoenaed, supposed to have been had came to the New York trial, but she claimed that her mom took sick and she had to be there for her mom. She did not show up in the New York trial. So my thing is this: I wonder is Jennifer gonna get her in the Chicago trial? I wonder will she be subpoenaed to the Chicago trial? I would like to hear Susan Logan's explanation for why none of her clients went to the hospital or filed a police report. And how do we know no police reports were filed? Thank you, Kim Fox said there were no open investigations against Robert Lester Kelly up until the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries aired. And after the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries aired, she opened up a hotline, a 1-800. If R. Kelly did this to you, call. If R. Kelly did that to you, call. If you don't like R. Kelly, call. If you want to fight R. Kelly, call. If you want to bite R. Kelly, call. She opened up a hotline soliciting people to come forward. When have you ever seen that? That's unethical practice. That's unethical practice. For a district attorney to come out and say, if you ever been touched by R. Kelly, come forward. If you ever met R. Kelly, come forward. If you ever looked at him, come forward. This is the 1-800 hotline. 1-800 I love you, R. Kelly. Because she said so many people started calling in, but nobody was saying nothing negative. So they shut the hotline down. Make it make sense. All of these people that has bitten off of this forbidden fruit, hey, that's it. You have so many people involved in this R. Kelly case who have bitten off the forbidden fruit. And what did God tell Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden? One thing you don't do, you do not bite off of the forbidden fruit. How many people, look at all of these people who have bitten off of the forbidden fruit. And what did God tell them? What did God promise them? Adam and Eve. If they bit off that forbidden fruit, what did he promise them? You have so many people have bitten off of this case. You have so many people who have bitten off of this forbidden fruit in this case. So many people have bitten off of the forbidden fruit in this case. Now, all of those people who bit that fruit, all of those people who have eaten off of that fruit, y'all are about to bear witness. You all are about to bear witness to the sin y'all have committed against God's will. Y'all are about to bear witness to the sin that y'all have committed against God's will. See, there's certain things in life you just don't involve yourself in. It took me a long time to understand what it meant to mind your business. Or should I say, mind the business that pays you. It took me a long time to understand it because I used to always try to help people in situations where my help wasn't needed. See, I've tried to help people when my help was not needed in those situations. See, a lot of time in life, We try to help situations because we feel like we can fix them. But some things that people go through in life is meant for them to go through alone, because that's just how God is. See, God will put people in situations that they have to figure out how to get out of it. We can't always step in to help people when we're not even knowing what they done to get in that situation. We don't know what they done to get there, but we see them struggling, so we run over to try to give aid. Now here we go fighting for our life. And that same individual that we went to go help, they get out, and then guess what they do? They leave you there stuck. You see how God works? Y'all see how God works? You can see somebody struggling, and you run over there to render aid to them and help them stop struggling. And once they get out of the struggle, they leave you there struggling. Now you pissed off, but the whole problem and the whole root of the problem is you didn't even have to be there. And now we are seeing this in the R. Kelly sector, the whole R. Kelly sector. We see so many people who have inserted themselves into this sector. So many people have inserted themselves into this sector to the point to where now they have become a part of the sector. Now they are finna be changing places. Now, Kels has been on the inside looking out for the last 3 years. But the way God is finna spin this thing, he's finna be on the outside looking in. He's finna be on the outside looking in at the people who was once looking in on him from the outside. Man, I tell y'all, man, this is a spiritual warfare. This is an ordained warfare. This situation had to happen. It was necessary for this to happen. And because God's will be served, all of those people who took a bite off of their forbidden fruit, y'all are about to bear witness to the sin that y'all committed. Tell you, God don't play about his children. And if you think he don't, test them. Come against them. Come against them. See, they say when it's two or more, God is present. So if it was one person, you probably had to work hard for God to see what's going on. But God say if it's two or more in agreement, he's in the presence. So when all of these people came against Kels, there was everything needed for God to stand with Kels. Y'all get what I'm saying? Do I make sense? They would have had a better chance of one person coming against Kels, taking them down, versus 50 to 100 people coming against them. You see what I'm saying? When they brung 50 to 100 people against one man, God had no choice but to step in and show that his will still will be done. See, look, it ain't hard. It ain't hard to understand what is going on. These people would have had a better chance of trying to bring Kels down with one female versus 100 people. They misunderstood. They misinterpreted when God said he will make a way out of no way. They felt like they had chaos against the wall. They say, we got 100 people. We got bus drivers. We got managers. We got people to lie. We got the white girl. We got storages. We got 100 devices. They got everything. They brought everything but God to the fight. They brought everything to the fight but God. Look here. They bought everything. They bought everything but the understanding of the power of God. God opened doors that no man can open. God make ways that no man can make. And when it's in God's hand, it's going to reveal itself in God's timing. See, a lot of this stuff could have been exposed a long time ago. But the way God works, God is methodical. He wants you to see. He wants you to see the things that you've done. He wants you to understand that the choices that you made were temporary. A lot of these people was laughing. A lot of these people were celebrating and rejoicing. Temporary success. That's what we call it, premature success. These people were gloating about premature success. But when the things start to unravel, what they say, when all things fall apart, when all things start to fall apart, you see what I'm saying? When Noah warned the people that God said he was coming, and God gave Noah a message, and he said, I want you to build an ark, but I want you to build it 100 yards away from any water, any ocean, any lake. The people in the village was looking at Noah like he was crazy. What are you building this big old ark for? How are you going to get it to the water? Noah kept preaching the word, telling these people that he's coming. That's all God told Noah. Let my people know that I'm coming. Y'all be prepared. Noah preached the word to the point to where people made fun of him so much till he started to get discouraged. So he had to go back and have a conversation with God. And God told him, you just continue to do what I asked you to do. Continue to believe in my word. Continue. All you have to do is believe. All you have to do is believe. Noah went back. He continued to build on his ark. He told the people of the village, it's going to rain. He's coming back. And all of a sudden, one day, he had been warning these people. It started to raindrop. Those drips of rain turned into light showers. Those light showers turned into light pours. Those pours turned into heavy rain. It went from 1 day to 2 days, from 2 days to 5 days, from 5 days to 10 days, 30 days, 30 nights. The people who didn't believe in Noah when he was building that ark 100 yards away from water, guess what those people was when the water started to come to the ark? God said, you ain't gonna have to figure out how to get your ark on the water, but I'm gonna bring the water to the ark. So Kels ain't have to figure out, who was against him. God was gonna show him. God was gonna show him who was against him. God was gonna bring these people from uncovered. It's people that still hide undercover that's going to be exposed. God is going to show chaos all these people. Some that he loves, some that he trusts, some that he would give his life for. God say, you stand here. I'm going to show you the type of people that you had around you. All you have to do is sit here and be patient. Believe. Sit here, be patient, and just believe in my word when I tell you that I'm going to show you. God is starting to show him how many people that were just really out to get him. And we talking about from the federal government to the prosecution to the judge to the informants to the bloggers to the bus drivers to the managers to the girls to the young women to family members, so on and so on. God is showing chaos. This is the type of bondage you were living in. I yield back, man. I yield back. I yield back. But I hope this message that I delivered tonight was a message for people to understand that when God is present, your help is not necessarily needed. Sometimes in life, we all are going to have to go through something alone. We all are going to have to go through something alone at some point in life. That's God's way of testing us to see if we really believe, if we really have the faith of a mustard seed. God will test us. But see, these people, they saw Kels in a situation where he was down. But I tell y'all, I look at Kels like he was that forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden. God say, don't bite off that. Don't eat this. All of this over here, you can have. But this tree right here, nothing is to be taken. These people saw Kels down, but he wasn't out. They saw him down, but he wasn't out. They say, oh, look at him over there with his head down. They thinking he's sad. They thinking he's giving up. But the whole time he's praying. He's praying. He's praying. He's building up his strength. He's putting on his armor of God. Lord, protect me. No weapons formed against me shall prosper. That's what you do when these people, when all of this is coming at you, you have to protect yourself and shield yourself with the word of the Lord. You have to shield yourself when you're going through something in life, not just for Robert Kelly, for every individual that walks the face of this earth. When you're going through something in life, you have to shield yourself with the love of God, with the word of God, with the protection of God. Because if you're not covered by the word of Jesus and you're not protected by the word of Jesus, guess what? You're gonna get you're gonna get sidetracked. You're gonna get sidetracked. I see some new people. I'm not sure if they new. T-Boz. Who gonna check me? You know, welcome over here to Big Vow Opinion. Man, I just had to come on here and bring this message tonight. And like you say, meant to not go to channels they beefing with. Yeah, I don't try to get involved in the beef. I try to come on and bring my commentary the way that I bring my commentary. I try to come on and break things down the way that I break things down, and hopefully people understand it. I don't try to make people choose and pick a side. I deal with who I deal with, but at the same time, I have my own thought process, and I have my own way of thinking. I have my own way of speaking when I speak of things, rather no matter what it be. I don't try to get involved in personal issues that people have with each other. That's why I'm able to articulate and do the thing the way that I do. You know. All right, thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. Next time, when I'm on my computer and I catch you again, I'll make sure I rent you up, man. I'll make sure I rent you up. T-Boz, everybody, man, everybody that came over, T. Glenn, Willie, my boy E, my sister Ashley, uh, Miss Lady T, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. If you haven't already hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. Please hit the like, comment. Make sure you share the live, share the live, man. Make sure y'all share, because this one right here, this one right here, this is by far one of my best lives I've done since I've been advocating. To me, tonight I felt it. I felt it. I felt it in my spirit that this right here was one of the best lives I've done since I've been advocating. Welcome, Deetra. This right here was one of my best lives that I felt tonight, because everything I said tonight came from the heart. Everything I said tonight came from the heart. So this live right here, if y'all can't do nothing else for me, man, share this live. If you got Twitter, Facebook, R. Kelly groups, YouTube, whatever you got, make sure y'all share this live, because this live tonight, this was by far one of my best lives I put together, because I was able to write down notes. I understood what I wanted to talk about. I understood what points I wanted to make, and I made those points and I made it clear. I broke down the differences in these people getting I broke down the differences in these people not going to the hospital, not filing police reports, rather just going straight with the lawsuits. I also brought down how so many people come against this man while he's down. We talked about the spiritual side of this thing. The spiritual side of this thing. You know, when people are not looking at, you know what I'm saying? You don't kick a man while he down. You don't kick a man while he down. A lot of these people attach themselves to this situation. They didn't understand what was really going on. But the farther we get down the road, the clearer the message is going to get. The farther we get into this case, the clearer things are going to get for everyone to understand, because we all are watching it. We all are seeing what's going on. We all seeing what's going on. And for me, my appreciation is to all of the supporters, all the people who support me. And I'm a young brother, but all of the people who support me, I appreciate y'all. I look forward to coming on and seeing y'all. I look forward when people ask me when I'm going live. I look forward to that, because people want to hear what I got to say. And I promise y'all, I'm not a biblical person, but I believe in a higher power. I believe in God. I've seen God work. I've seen miracles perform. I've seen miracles happen. I've been in a situation where the only way I got out of these situations had to be a higher power. Because how did I get removed from being in the fire? I've seen it. I don't have to pick up that Bible to say God is real. He's shown me on countless occasions what he can do. I mean, one step this way, one step that way, I'm gone. But he has a greater purpose for me, just as well as he have a greater purpose for y'all. He have a greater purpose for Rob. He even have a greater purpose for these accusers. God has a greater purpose for these people who's coming against our king. They just can't see it. But R. Kelly is not y'all savior. You got to repent and ask God to forgive y'all. God is the only one who can forgive y'all. Facts. Come on now. God is so real. Other people better know it and stop allowing the enemy use them and turn from all that wickedness. I'm telling you, man, God would take Robert from where he had and sit your tail right there in his spot. I wonder, can any of these other people have the patience that Robert has had throughout these last 3 years? I wonder if anybody, how many of these other guys that you see on here talking against R. Kelly, can they stand the fire? Because I've seen one person who can't. I've seen one person who got put in the same position as Robert, and what did he do? Any individual who provide useful, credible information to a justice law enforcement agency regarding felony criminal activity is a confidential informant. Reliable informant, any informant who has provided information based on his or her personal knowledge and who meet the legal standard for reliability. This usually consists of, but is not limited to, validating at least one prior occasion where information from this informant proves to be factual and resulted in a valid arrest, seizure, or conviction. Have we heard Kelly tell on anybody? Did he tell on anybody in 08? Here we are in 2021, 2019, 2020, 2021. Now we in 2022. He have yet to tell on somebody. So when some of these people that are coming against R. Kelly has been in the same seat that he's sitting in and they couldn't take the fire, they chose to tell. They chose to give up information. They chose to cooperate. Even though they committed a crime, yeah, I committed a crime, but I'm going to tell you what he did too. Oh, I wasn't by myself. Like I told the people last night, my dad always tell me a story. Two dudes robbed the store. They were running through a cemetery. One hid behind a tree, the other one hid behind a plot. And when the one hid behind the tree got caught, they walking him out of handcuffs. He gonna holler across the field and say, "Come on, man, they got us." No, they got you, and you told on us. That's a little humor for y'all. My dad say, pick your friends wisely. If you're gonna commit a crime, commit it by yourself. Because if you with somebody, 9 times out of 10, they not gonna catch him. They gonna catch y'all. Right? Who gonna check me? I am one of the miracles I'm speaking of. Okay, I'm gonna have to check you out, man. My dad, my dad say two dudes robbed the store and they get to running from the police. They running through a cemetery. Say one of them hide behind a tree, the other one hide behind a plot. The one hid behind the tree got caught. They put him in handcuffs, taking him to go put him in the car. He gonna yell across the field, "Come on, man! Hey, they got us! They got us! Yeah, they got us! No, they got you! They got you! They got you! Now you gonna talk about come on? They got us! Make it make sense." I had to get that little laugh in. I had to get that little laugh in. I had to get that little laugh in right there. But Man, I thought I was gonna come on here. I'm gonna tell you how the spirit works. What's up, Nene B? I'm gonna tell you how the spirit works. I thought I was gonna come on here for like 10, 15 minutes. Do y'all understand? Y'all, it's 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm not sure what time zone other people are in, but it's 4 in the morning. I got 25 people in here listening to me at 4 a.m. in the morning. But guess what? The message that was delivered tonight was necessary. The message was necessary. Like I say, I've done over 300 plus videos. Tonight's live was by far one of the most impactful lives. One of the most impactful lives that I've done since I've been doing live broadcasting on YouTube. That's just how I feel about tonight's live. That's how I feel about tonight's live. So if y'all can help me, help y'all by sharing this live out, by sharing the live out. Make sure y'all liking the live. Make sure y'all comment. Make sure y'all liking. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Because we growing the channel over here. But we're going to continue to bring logic. That's what I try to base my channel off of. Logic. I try to bring logic to the situation. We're not going to talk about what we think. We're not going to talk about. We're going to try to bring the logic to the situations that we're watching. We want the logic. We want to make it make sense. We want to make it make sense. And I'm not gonna hold y'all in longer. I'm at work, so I'm gonna knock out my little duties before 5 a.m. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all that came over. Uh, I can't remember who it was, but one of my subscribers, they commented under my video earlier when I made a short video about Tasha K. I talked about that in this video as well. I spoke on the fact that the government accepting confidential information. I spoke on the government accepting illegally obtained confidential information from bloggers and informants. So one of my supporters earlier, they come in and say this video should have been longer. I can't remember exactly which one of my supporters it was, but I'm gonna make sure I go under that video and look at that comment and tag her, tell her she need to see this. She need to make sure she see this live. She said my video earlier was too short for her. She wanted to hear more. So, hey, I brung it to her today. This one was for her. I don't know if it was Stephanie. I can't really say. Hold on, just y'all hold just a second. I'm gonna see who it was. Okay, that's who it was. Corey Simmons. Nah, who gonna check me? I don't get on them calls and stuff like that. When I get off in the morning, I get off of work about 6 o'clock in the morning. When I make it home, maybe about 7, I shower up, eat me a little breakfast, and I go to sleep. I never get on those phone calls. I just wait for the court transcript to come out. I never get on those phone calls. All I hear is, all I hear is negativity. When it comes to the phone calls, as far as people on the calls, using using profanity, uh, yelling at the judge, why you can't give Robert this, why you can't give him that. I've heard a lot. I've not heard not one good thing about those phone calls yet. So I don't get a chance to get in on the phone calls. I just wait on people to report about it. You know, yeah, I work 12 hours too. I work 12-hour night shifts 5 days a week. 5 days a week, 12 hours a night. So when I get off in the morning, I get my shower, grab me a little something to eat. That's it. I'm not getting up till about 2 or 3 o'clock in the evening time. But I do look out for people who report on it. I do look out for those people who report on. And if y'all see Corey or Cora Simmons, let him know. Let him he or she know that, hey, Big Vibe made that video longer. So I made a longer video pertaining to the illegally obtained emails that were given to the federal government as well. So um, thank y'all for coming over, chilling with me, kicking it with me. It's been great, man. Make sure y'all stay safe. The monkeypox is on a rise. The COVID is spiking. So make sure y'all be safe. Make sure y'all wearing y'all gloves. Disinfect pumps when you at the pump. Happy birthday, Nene B. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Everybody tell Nene B happy birthday. Happy birthday, Nene B. Make sure y'all wearing gloves at the pump. If you got get you some disinfectant spray, spray the pump before you put gas in your car, whatever you may need to do. Uh Thank you, T Glenn. I very much appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. Said working in the emergency room. I work for a gas pipeline company. I do pipeline work, so with that being said, y'all be safe. Oh, you welcome. Who gonna check me? You very much welcome. Very much welcome. Y'all be safe, stay protected. Until next time, it's your boy Big Val Opinion, and I'm out. Make sure you hit that like, turn on the subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification bell so you don't miss a live. And I don't know, having 24 people in here, I might need to start doing my lives at this time of night. Courtney Love, what's up, my girl? Courtney, make sure you go back and watch the replay. Make sure you go back and watch the replay, Courtney. Make sure you go back and watch the replay, Courtney. You will not be let down. You will not be let down. This by far some of my best work tonight. By far some of my best work tonight. Uh, and Courtney, I got the t-shirts from the giveaway. You know how it's out of my hands now. All that stuff is being processed. I will have the t-shirts up for sale. The Big Val Opinion merchandise. I also had the Big Val Opinion tumblers. I will also have the Bluetooth tumblers as well. So I'll be making a new video about that, I'll be putting together a new little video of all of that together so people can see it. I will have the pricing on the video as well so people can see it if you choose to want one. Support. If you don't, still support. Me seeing you over here is enough support for me. And like I say, if you look at the bottom of the screen right here underneath, who gonna check me comment, you see the Cash App Big Val Opinion. You see Big Val Opinion 88 at Gmail. That's my email. If anybody want to contact me via email, BigVileOpinion88 at gmail.com. And like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, I appreciate y'all. I love all of y'all. God bless y'all. And until next time, man, y'all be safe out here. I'm out. Big Vile Opinion.